Welcome once again to Wildcat Park for another South Suburban Conference matchup. We have Casey Lux joined again by Skip Newton. As you can see on our graphic, Apple Valley Eagles travel across town to take on the Eagan Wildcats. I think, Skip, for the first time ever, after I think this is my 9th year of doing Eagan baseball, we've had back-to-back days, consecutive days of Eagan baseball on Eagan TV.
Yeah, this is a great time for that too, right? I mean, the weather is, again, sunny. It's warm. There is a wind, just like yesterday afternoon, probably blowing out to right.
I think it's blowing in, actually,
you think so?
Yeah. Well, that's why, at least on the color guard. We had a wonderful color guard here today. Obviously, members of the Eagan Police Department as well. We had a youth student that threw out youth baseball player that threw out the first pitch. And Skip, why don't you run us through the Apple Valley batting order here? So we know who we got coming up here on the top of the first.
All right, sounds good. Batting leadoff, Ben Chamberlain, the center fielder. Number 2, Kellen Britt playing right field. The catcher, Cam Nolan, will be batting third. Batting cleanup, first base, Ryan Christensen. 5th is Jackson Thornburg. He's playing shortstop. The left fielder, Drew Raymer, is 6th. Batting 7th, number 7, Paxton Ames, the pitcher as well. Number 5, batting 8th, the second baseman, Brody Galovich. And batting 9th, number 1, Liam Horner, the third baseman.
Perfect, thank you. We got Jeremy Hendrickson as the head coach for Apple Valley. This is his 11th season total. He coached for Apple Valley for a bit, and then he came back. And then he's assisted by Bill Goodman, Brad Vanderveen. We got Wyatt Jeleno, the freshman, is on the mound today. This is his second varsity start. Jeleno, just so you know, Skip, the repertoire that he's going to come with today, fastball, changeup, slider. And then I will mix in how his first outing went, which ended up being a 1-0 victory at Rosemont. Jeleno coming in today's game, 5 innings pitched in his varsity debut. Got the win, 4 Ks, no walks. So he's got the clean ERA, and he had a whip of .200. So looking for the same things. Obviously, Coach Butler would like to see balls being put in play, and no walks today by Jeleno once again like he did against Rosemont.
Yeah, that's about as good of a debut as you could hope for. A nice 1-0 win for Eagan. Hopefully when they get their turn to bat, they can get the bats going a little bit. They struggled yesterday, especially in the final innings.
Correct.
You know, lost a close game, I believe, with 2-1 the day before?
Yeah, they lost 2-1 at Farmington, then the 5-3 game yesterday that was, all knotted up at 2s, and then, Eagan's bats, like you said, kind of went cold. So we got the leadoff hitter, center fielders, Ben Chamberlain. Now it's quickly 3-0, so maybe we had a little bit of the announcer jinx here as we might get a walk to start the game. But I was very excited to see what Jeleno can do and what he does on the mound. I don't think he was initially on the roster maybe for the first or second game, but pretty much now has been brought up and obviously found his way into the rotation. The Eagan Wildcat rotation is you're going to have the 2 juniors up top, which is we saw yesterday, Brody Illa, and then Will Mitchell was playing right field today. You have freshman Wyatt Jeleno, and then you have sophomore Brandon Madiman. So no seniors as far as the starting pitchers go, Skip.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, to have a team that is expecting to be competitive not only in the South Suburban Conference, but
the section,
looking to get advanced past sections. I mean, they had a couple of heartbreaking defeats there in the last 2 years, but they are definitely a competitor in the section. So looking to get to state with no seniors on the mound.
Absolutely. The 3-2 pitch, outside corner, ball 4. So Jeleno gets his first walk of the day as Chamberlain takes that trot down to first. It's going to bring up the right fielder is Kellen Britt. Across the outfield for the Wildcats, you're going to have Drew Boyd in left, Tate Gage, the senior in center, and then Will Mitchell is actually playing in right. At third base, senior Theo King, sophomore Parker Pangier at short, junior Aiden Canty at second, and then senior is Tony Hiveri. Nice play by Jeleno to hop the mound, flips it over to Hiveri in time for the first out. Chamberlain scoots over to second. As the aforementioned, Wyatt Jeleno, freshman on the mound, and then his battery mate is junior Brandon Lundenborg. So he brings up the number 3 hitter. That's going to be the catcher. That's Cam Nolan. Apple Valley, Skip, I don't know if you took the little dig or not, but have played some close games. I'll go over those later on, but they're coming today 1-6. But their one win being against Lakeville North. But they've had some games. It's not, they're not getting 10 run. I think there might be one in there. I think that was against Prior Lake, and Prior Lake's a top 10 team in state. I think Eagan caught at the right time on opening day. So I'm interested to see what this Apple Valley team does. See what they're like on the mound for Paxton Ames on the mound, and then also just kind of see what their bats are like here today.
Caught Jeleno looking at his left forearm there. Curious, is that something he's got that he's playing with there? What is he reading there?
Yeah, so I think it's either potentially a little bit of a scouting report, but I think he's getting. So Coach Luke Degermont, the pitching coach, is calling the pitches in the dugout. So I think he's either yelling out a number or flashing a number on his fingers, and then that's what is being relayed between Jeleno as well as Lunenburg. Ball hit to Parker Pangier at short. Throw across the diamond to Highbury in time to retire Nolan, bringing up the first baseman, Ryan Christensen. An interesting note, Ryan Christensen, a future Golden Gopher. So he's happy to see your Golden Gopher hat and attire today.
Oh, absolutely. Those of us that went to and graduated from the U are going to root for him next year.
Yeah, and he's going to be playing baseball. I thought somebody was saying so he's playing first today, but I think he's a pitcher. I don't know which position he's going to be playing at the U. But I remember somebody saying that they were impressed because they said they were, that they had, that Apple Valley had a pitcher going to the U. So, and then the shortstop on deck, Jackson Thornburg, who's on deck right now, is set to play football at lacrosse. So Jeleno quickly got out of that first jam of walking the leadoff runner. 2 down. Chamberlain is at second. Now quickly 2-0 to the number 4 hitter, Ryan Christensen.
Interesting that Chamberlain did not advance to third on that ground ball to short. I know usually when it goes to short you go back, but it looked like it was slow enough where he probably could have gotten there. We'll see if it matters.
Yeah, well, and it's a safer play, right? You don't want to have that have that out be at third, right? Take you out of, you're already in scoring position at second. There's a slider in there for a swinging miss. As we mentioned, a fastball, changeup, and a slider. Gone are the days of the curveball, Skip. That's what you're starting to see. Everybody throws a slider, and then obviously on the pro side, everybody wants to throw, the looper. Hot shot to right field. That's going to be getting past Will Mitchell in right. Chamberlain's going to dig his way into a stand-up double, and he's going to plate Chamberlain with a big 2-out RBI.
Nice piece of hitting there as he took that one to the opposite field. Absolutely no chance for Mitchell to get to that one. Just had to get it in and hold him to a double, but a big 2-out hit there for the Eagles.
Yeah, and he put some stank on that thing. I mean, that thing got out there quickly. So Christensen now at second, bringing up the shortstop, Jackson Thornburg, senior. I believe Thornburg, I could be wrong, but I believe he's been starting at varsity for the Eagles at least as a sophomore. I remember this name for quite many years. Fastball misses in for a ball, quickly 1-0, 2 down here. Top of the first, Wildcat Park South Suburban Conference matchup. The Wildcats taking on the visitors of Apple Valley. It's a wonderful crowd. You'll probably see some shots from our excellent camera crew throughout the day. Fouled off. Youth Day and Youth Baseball Association Day. So you kind of saw Skip probably have ages anywhere from probably 8 all the way up to 12, 13.
Yeah, it's a lively crowd. I like it. It does make the atmosphere a lot more enjoyable. I mean, people are just more into it. You can hear the crowd noise picked up by the cameras. It's a good time.
Absolutely. And right away from the first inning. Nice being brick wall there by Lunenburg behind the plate, keeping it in front as well as keeping Christensen at second. Yeah, we had youth throw out the first pitch, hummed in a strike, had 2 members of the Eagan Police Department throw out first pitches as well. Ooh, that one looked like a strike to me. Zone is maybe a little tight here to start. 3-1.
You think that was inside? Or
no, I thought that
high?
was like down the middle, but he called it high.
Right,
yeah.
okay, high, all right.
I thought that was right there, though.
Yeah, I agree.
It was underneath the letters. 3-1 count, 2 down here. Freshman Jeleno's pitch. Ground ball to second. Canty scoops it, flips it. Highbury in time for the 3rd out. So after the top of the first, the Apple Valley Eagles get 1 run on that 1 hit, that double by Christensen with 2 outs, no errors and 1 left on. Back in 60 seconds as the Eagan Wildcats come to the plate here on Eagan TV. Back here at Wildcat Park as the Eagan Wildcats are set to come up here in the bottom of the first, trailing 1-0 after that 2-out double by the future Golden Gopher, Ryan Christensen. The Wildcats are going to be sending up here in a second. We'll get the graphics going. We'll let you know who their lineup will be looking like here today. Very similar to yesterday's. Actually, I think the exact same, if I remember correctly. No, they switched a few around.
Yeah, switched a few around, but the same players.
Yep, exactly. All right, there we go. So we got senior Tate Gage set to play baseball at Concordia St. Paul next year. Senior third baseman is Theo King. Junior catcher Brandon Lundenberg. Out in right field today will be junior Will Mitchell. Batting fifth will be the second baseman, junior Aiden Canty. The designated hitter today is junior Brody Illa, who pitched yesterday. Senior followed up by senior Tony Highberry at first base. Sophomore Parker Pangier at short, and then following up in the bottom lineup will be the left fielder Drew Boyd. Pitching today for the Apple Valley Eagles will be Paxton Ames. I can't say I have a scouting report, Skip, but I'm interested to see what Ames does and how he attacks, especially this top of the lineup for Eagan.
Yeah, like you said, Eagan wanted to get the bats going today, find themselves down 1-0 early, but struggled against some hot pitching yesterday, so hopefully they can put more balls in plays and see if they can get some runs on the board.
Slow curve right away, swung on by Tate, fouled off. And I did the extra work last night there, Skip. I had to update the stats from yesterday, so we'll see if you're paying attention as to whose batting average went up or down.
Our viewers expect nothing less, Casey.
Exactly.
I guarantee you that.
That's right. Well, there's Timberwolves to be watched, so I could fill out some stats. Gage, as I mentioned yesterday, though, comes in today batting .360, so his average did go up. He was at, I think, .286 yesterday. .429 on base, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, 9 runs, leads the team in runs, and 4 for 7 on stolen bases. I think he grabbed 2 bags yesterday. Fastball outside corner. I'm trying to figure out what umpire here is. Okay, 2-1. He's not really giving any hand motions, so I'm trying to see if I can figure out what he's going to call first, what the difference between a strike and a ball is. Here's the 2-1 pitch by Ames. Swung on, fouled away, 2-2 now to the senior center fielder, Tate Gage. Tate Gage, the youngest of the Gage boys, and Coach Butler had the honor of coaching all 3 now, as Coach Butler is in his 9th season. We were talking before the game, I was talking to the 9th grade coach, Drew Agard, and I was saying that I remember when Tate was probably a 4th, 5th grader coming to all the games that first year. 2-2 pitch, misses outside.
It's fun to see that not only in the program, but as a coach to have that longevity with not only the players but the family. I mean, you really get to know them well, and it's a good time and speaks to the continuity and the development of the program.
Absolutely. 3-2, popped up. It's going to stay in the infield. Looks like Thornburg's going to call off his second baseman, makes the first out of the inning, bringing up the senior third baseman, Theo King. King comes in today, .269 on base, 1 double, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, and 1 for 1 on stolen bases. So kind of similar to what we were talking about yesterday, Skip. I think, Ames is looking to obviously establish himself on the outside corner, especially kind of throwing that slower curveball. So I'm interested to see if the Eagan, hitters make that adjustment, go with the pitch, try to, drive the ball to right center, right field, and so forth here today. Fastball on the outside corner, actually a changeup. Changeup on the outside corner for a strike.
No doubt on that strike call, though. No guessing on our part there.
Nope. And you tend to see too, as the innings go along, the zone will get a little bit bigger as the pitchers get more consistent. All right, across the defense for the Eagles, across the outfield, you're gonna have Raymer in left, Chamberlain in center, Britt in right, and then across the diamond, you're gonna have Horner at third, Thornburg at short, Galovich at second, Christensen at first, and then doing the dirty work behind the plate will be Noland. 0-2 count to the senior at the hot corner, Theo King. Curveball misses out.
Yep, 0-2. I don't mind trying to burn one.
Yeah.
CV chases it, but that one was significantly outside short,
Yeah.
so no way a hitter's going to swing at that.
Well, and I always feel too as a pitcher, you know, there's just so many times that you come in from the bullpen to the actual game, and it's hard to have full command of your off-speed pitches. Hot shot down the line. That's going to get past the third baseman, Horner. Scooped up by Raymer, but that's going to nice play by Raymer out left to keep King at first.
Yeah, really nice play there in left field. When I got by third baseman, I thought that was a double for sure.
It was hit hard. Yeah, and it got past the lip, so it didn't, you know, get up in the air to slow it down. Junior catcher Brandon Lunenburg. And if you listened yesterday, you'll know that it is the most popular walk-up song of all.
Maybe take a couple extra seconds to get his spot right and keep that music going.
I feel like you're at the World Classic. King at first, 1 for 1 on the season for stolen bases. Lunenburg yesterday, first 2 at-bats were doubles. Added to his total up to 5 doubles on the season. Through 7 games, so almost a double a game, Skip. Ames keeping an eye on King at first. His first pitch to Lunenburg. Curveball in there for strike. Lunenburg comes into today, upped his average to .333, a whopping .538 on base percentage, which is the best of the team. 5 doubles, as we said, 1 home run at Eastview, 4 RBIs on the season.
I was going to say, with the doubles and the home run, his slugging percentage has to be pretty impressive too.
Maybe I'll add that one next broadcast. We'll add some more columns in the old handwritten stats here.
Challenge accepted.
Right. But I always, you know, I don't know about you, Skip, but you know, as baseball's evolved and the analytics has came into it, there's just so many new stats added every single year, and it's just hard to sometimes, I think, for fans to truly wrap their head around, like, okay, what does this stat mean? Can you explain it? And then, like, a lot of times it's hard to even try to explain it to somebody. So, you know, like slugging or even on base, I mean, those are pretty basic. But, you know, you get into, like, you know, hard ball hits and, you know, percentage of balls hit that should have, you know, weighted batting averages and so on. And it never ends, right?
The analytics is crazy. I know it's impressive too, but I think your point is valid, and I see this across all sports, is they don't do a good job of explaining, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, is that a good number? I don't know. I mean, everybody knows what a good batting average is, but yeah, it has changed a lot, and I think
it's just so much that you just kind of like, just tell me what their average is, their on bases, how many home runs and RBIs, like when you're watching a major league game. Now, if FanDuel is listening, which I think they are, because they like to see how well we do broadcast compared to their own for the Twins. I have an idea for him, and we'll get to that in a second. King takes off. Throw down to second by Nolan, not in time. It's going to get into center field, backed up though nicely by Chamberlain. In doing so, though, Lunenburg took strike 3, so Ames gets his first strikeout of the day. What I would recommend is every game they should just put, you know, while the game's going on, like in the top corner, you know, put up a new analytic stat and then put the definition underneath. And be a way just to introduce stats throughout the season, and then now you get into July and August, and when you're talking about it, your listeners have an idea what that means, right?
Yeah, educate the fans, get them up to speed. I like that.
Yeah. All right, so we have the number 4 hitter coming up, the right fielder, junior, Will Mitchell. King at second, so can Eagan get a 2-out rally similar to what the Eagles did in the first? Big swing on a curveball. Mitchell comes in today, 316, 440 on base, 5 RBIs, and that leads the team. 2 runs and 2 for 2 on stolen bases as he swiped his second stolen base yesterday.
That was a big cut on that first pitch. I mean, it looked like his back leg almost came off the ground. He was into it so much.
Not the full Reggie Jackson, but close.
Right.
You know when Reggie was going for it, when he would basically genuflect and kneel after his swing. 2 outs, 0-1 count. Theo King, the senior, at second base. Had a single down left field line, stole second. for his second stolen base on the season. One now the count. Yeah, it will be interesting too, Skip, to see fly balls more so to the outfield than the infield, if that's going to, cause any excitement like we saw yesterday. Fastball misses low, 2-1 to Mitchell. Mitchell pitched a great game on Monday. That was against Farmington. It's hard to say if the Wildcats have a true ace. I would think that probably they'll between maybe Mitchell and Madiman are probably their two top guys. Madiman's only pitched once because he had mono, so he was out for a little while. There's a rip to left center field. That's going to go to the wall. King's going to score. Mitchell looking for 3. And he's going to make the smart move, get back to second, and then he gets thrown out. Run counts. Just a little bit too hard of a turn by Mitchell. It almost looked like he was almost fell down there when he was turning. Excellent relay by Chamberlain to Thornburg, and then Thornburg threw it to Christensen for the out. But in doing so, why don't you walk us through it, Skip?
Yeah, you saw he just overran the bag a little too much. He wanted to go to third, but a really nice job by the Apple Valley defense. Getting that relay, hitting the relay man or the cutoff man.
Yep.
That's the key there. They hit the cutoff man, and then they're able to pick him off second.
Yep. So in doing so, though, the Wildcats do get that 1 run on 2 hits. There was no errors and nobody left on. Back in 60 seconds here, as the Apple Valley Eagles will be stepping to the plate at the top of the second here on Eagan TV. Back here on Eagan TV, Casey Luck, Skip Newton. Apple Valley set to come to the plate here in the top of the second. We got a 1-1 game. Plenty of fireworks right away in the first inning, Skip.
Yeah, some good hitting. We've seen a couple of big doubles there.
Yeah, 2 doubles with 2 outs. RBI doubles.
Exactly, and they were no doubters,
Correct.
right? I mean, the outfield had no chance in either case. Well hit balls.
For Mitchell, he basically smoked that ball to the deepest part of the park in a sense. I mean, hit it basically right at the 384 line. If he hits that down the line, I don't know if he had the height to go out, but that would have been obviously off the top of the wall. So Apple Valley's setting up their left fielder, which is Drew Raymer. Gelano trying to get back in the groove here. 1-1 is our count. Fastball, slider, changeup is his repertoire. Apple Valley in the season, as I mentioned, 1-5 coming in today. They beat Lakeville North 9-8. And I'll run you through their losses here in a second. Fastball in. They lost at Rosemont 4-1. At Lakeville South, who we saw yesterday here at Wildcat Park, they lost to the South Cougars 6-1. Prior Lake put up a 15-0 score. Shakopee was a close 5-3 loss, and then Eastview was 6-0. Fastball misses up again, so now 2-2. Gelano trying to find the zone here early on. Got some good snap though for a freshman.
Yeah,
it's popping the mitt.
It's getting there quick, and you could pop in the mid is a great way to put it. You can hear that when it hits.
Hot shot to right. Thought for a second that maybe Mitchell might try to throw him out at first. So base hit by Raymer. So now back-to-back innings, Eagles sent their leadoff hitter to first base. Pitcher now, Paxton Ames set to the plate. We'll see if they put the punt play on, or if they send Raymer, or let him swing away.
I'd like to see Gelano get the balls down a little bit more in the strike zone. He's a little high. I think that's leading to well-hit balls here for the Eagles.
And both the hits by the Eagles have been to right field. Slider misses out.
I did notice a couple of flags are blowing out to right.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So
And that might have changed a little bit just because when the color guard was out there, it looked like the flag was blown straight at home plate. So, yeah, it's gone out to right field. Heater outside corner for a strike, 1-1 on his account. And that's also our score here early on, 1-1. Both teams getting RBI doubles with 2 outs, complete their runs in the first. Christensen for the Eagles, Mitchell for the Wildcats. Hot shot down the third baseline, gets past the diving King. They're going to keep Raymer at second. Nice job by the left fielder, Drew Boyd, to corral that, get it back in quickly to Pangier, the shortstop. So big threat here early on for the Eagles. I'll bring up the number 8 hitter. That's going to be Brody Galovich, the second baseman, who's going to be batting left-handed. And you know what? Yesterday I said no lefties for the Wildcats. I felt bad. I forgot about our pitcher yesterday, Brody Illa, the only lefty for the Wildcats.
I'm sure he will let that pass just this one time.
I think so.
You know, first home game.
Right. There's a bunt popped up. Didn't get the bat out further. You know what I'm saying? Raymer at second. Ames at first. Galovich at the plate. Quickly 0-1. See if they set Galovich to bunt here once again. Looks like Eagan is going to have Theo King charge, so they're going to more than likely let Raymer get third base if they do get the bunt down. Pickoff play to second to Pangier, not in time.
I like that move there. See if you can catch them.
Correct. Yeah.
Not quite paying attention, napping a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and what you see a lot of times, right, is the guy on second is just so excited to get over on the bunt. So either getting picked off, or sometimes they take too big of a secondary jump, and a catcher might then throw it down and back pick them essentially.
But for those of you who can't see what's happening in the infield, it is pretty interesting. Highbury is coming so far in.
Correct.
He's more than halfway towards home plate from the first base bag.
Yeah. Well, you want to come in under control, right? Because if you come in too hot, all of a sudden that ball gets bunted and it goes right by you, and then now you have bases loaded.
Yeah, you have to be.
Didn't even take the out that they were going to give you.
You have to be standing still. Correct. So you can move laterally, right?
Well, early on this year, it was against, it wasn't Pryor. I think maybe Lakeville North in the similar situation. Fastball misses low, now 2-2. Similar situation, Eagan was going to bunt, and the first baseman, I think it was for North, was flying in. He was legitimately about 5 feet from home plate. You're sitting there going, well, you can just butt the ball over his head in the air and then still get an infield single. And you come flying in like that, and all of a sudden they pull the bat back and they swing away. You better have a hockey body. Ground ball up the middle. This could be 2. Pangier steps on second. Throw over to Highbury. Gets past Highbury, which is going to allow Raymer to score. And then now Galovich is going to gallivant down to second. So what was looking like a routine double play, Pangier, I think what they're going to check on here, Skip, is that if there was interference by the runner, and that is what forced Pangier's throw to be a one-hop to Highbury that he was unable to corral. Because you have to obviously be able to, when you're sliding into second, you have to be able to keep it around so that way you can reach it within your arm length.
Right.
Okay. If you get too far wide, it's a judgment call. That's the tough part. It's a judgment call, but then they would then, in theory, call Galovich out, so it'd be 2 outs, and then they would send Raymer back to third. And that's what I think Coach Butler is asking right now. Coach Steve Butler, the head coach for the Wildcats, 9th season as head coach, assisted by pitching coach Luke Degremont, and then his other 2 assistants are Zach Walls and Paul Weinberg. And then the student manager is senior Hans Anderson. So it looks like Coach Butler was overruled, and it's 2-1 Eagles. Only 1 out, and Galovich, at second. Number 9 hitter, is Liam Horner, the third baseman, another lefty. So we're seeing some lefties today here, Skip.
They're testing my scorekeeping abilities with all the notes I have to take on that at bat.
There was a lot there, wasn't there? Well, that's why you're a wise man to do it in pencil, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Giving the eraser a workout here.
Now, are you one of the diehards that brings in his own scorebook to the Twins game and actually scores along as the game plays?
I am not to that level of nerdery yet.
Okay. What I've heard from people is it's twofold, right? One, it just kind of keeps them into the game, right? And then two, I think is maybe the more important thing is I think a lot of people that do that like to then have that as a reminder of the games they went to, right? And they go back and look at it like, Kirby Puckett was 2 for 4, back in 1990 on, August 15th against the Detroit Tigers, right?
Now, as a kid growing up, I would keep not the official score at home listening to the game or watching the game, but I was definitely keeping stats.
Yeah.
I mean, I could rattle off the stats of every Twins player at any given point.
Big swing by Horner up high for a strike.
This would be a really good time
for a punch-out?
The first strikeout.
For a punchy? Yeah. Yeah, I thought maybe some of these kids would bring some Ks so that they could, hang them up behind home plate, or not behind home plate, but off to the side, right? Another heater up high, now 2-2. Good waste pitch. See if Horner would chase. Galovich at second. Fielder's choice. Let's see. Let's test your scorebook. He gets an RBI on that? Probably not, because it was on the air of the throw. So probably just a fielder's choice that gets him to second. I don't think it's an RBI. Changeup misses up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, because of the air and throw that brought in Raymer. 3-2, full count. 1 out. Top of the second. Visiting Apple Valley Eagles leading 2-1 here at Wildcat Park. Ball hit off the plate and foul behind Horner. Yeah, and and Apple Valley's making Jeleno work here early on. So if he can, what he's hoping to do is have a couple more quick at bats, so that way that pitch count doesn't come into play. And, Eagan's potentially bringing in a reliever sooner than later. Eagan's set to play another game tomorrow, so in the rare 4 games in 4 days. Fastball misses up for the second walk of the game, bringing up the leadoff hitter. Flipping the lineup over is center fielder now, Ben Chamberlain, who led off the game with a walk. And that's going to bring out the pitching coach, Luke Degermont, for a visit with his freshman starter.
Yeah, I've got 41 pitches so far here in just 1 1/3 innings. He's gone through the lineup already.
A lot of 2-2 counts, 3-2 counts, and it isn't. And what you also have noticed is there really hasn't been a lot of first pitch swinging, at least early on, which is pretty common, right? You want to see what a pitcher has. You want to make him work. You don't want to just give in to him, and hit a lazy pop up on the first pitch.
Yeah, unless I missed a pitch, I think the only one that swung at the first pitch was Kellen Britt, who's currently on deck when he grounded out back to Jeleno in the first inning.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Can you call my name for the raffle?
That's up top.
Well, the walk does set up a force out now.
Yes.
At second and third, of course, and first. So the double play is back in order. Hopefully they can get another ground ball like they had earlier, another tailor-made, and they can turn that one.
Yeah. Yeah, or maybe get one of those where, hit right at Theo King at third, touch and throw to first. Maybe see Canty make another amazing backhand like he did yesterday. As a second baseman, I was a proud second baseman yesterday watching Canty with the leather work that he was doing yesterday. Just so smooth with his backhand, such soft hands.
Yeah, he looked very comfortable.
Correct.
Like he just was in control at all times.
What I like too is he was charging to go get the ball. He wasn't, waiting until it got to him. First pitch popped up. This should be to Highbury. Jeleno's going to get out of his way. So there we go. First pitch swinging for an out. Now 2 down here in the top of the second. The right fielder is going to be Kellen Britt, who, as Skip just mentioned, swung at the first pitch and bounced it back to Jeleno in the first.
I mean, other than getting a double play on the first pitch, that was a very effective, maybe the most effective trip to the mound by a pitching coach, right? First pitch out.
There you go. Give Coach Degermont a raise, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
He keeps doing that.
We got to get this guy out and get out of the inning before we start talking pay raise.
It's a good point. It's a good point. 2 down, top of the second, 2-1 is our score with the Apple Valley Eagles leading as they've scored a run in both innings. Fastball gets in there for a strike, so now 1-1 is our count.
When that one got in a hurry. I mean, that was a noticeable difference from the first pitch. I like how he's mixing things up.
I know, I thought I asked earlier in the year, kind of what some of the speeds were, and I thought he was living mid to high 80s, which is pretty impressive as a freshman because, I mean, you just keep working on mechanics, and as you just naturally get stronger, that mile per hour in the fastball should keep going up. Strike 3, so 1, 2, 3 for the strikeout by Jeleno, but Apple Valley does get that 1 run on 1 hit. There was that 1 error and 2 left on. So back in 60 seconds as the Wildcats will be coming up in the bottom of the second here on Eagan TV. Back here, Wildcat Park, South Suburban Conference action. Second game of the year that Eagan TV has blessed us with their talents. And let's, you know what? Speaking of Eagan TV, it's perfect time, Skip, to give our thank yous and let everybody know who's doing all the work behind the scenes. We got our main man, Tim, in our ears. He's our director. Josh, doing the producing and graphics. Winter, who was here yesterday, she's our audio and replay czar. And then our camera crew, the friendly faces behind the camera of Rachel, Ken, and Nick. Once again, as I always like to say, a big thank you for Eagan TV promoting local high school athletics all across the season from fall through spring. And if you want to get your women's soccer fix in, Eagan TV is the home of the Minnesota's women's professional soccer team. Did you know that, Skip?
I did not know that.
There you go.
And as the play-by-play guy for Eagan Wildcat girls soccer since my daughter was on the team many years ago,
you're happy to know.
I'm happy to know, and I'm wondering who's calling those games, but that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah, and it's already their 4th season. We were just, Josh and I were just talking about that yesterday. I mean, it feels like that league just started, and they're already coming up on season 4. So, all right, back to baseball. We can talk more soccer at a different time, Skip. So.
Well, I'm definitely going to talk to Josh about that.
There you go. Paxton Ames, as we said, is our pitcher. A big, slow, sweeping curveball to the junior second baseman, Aiden Canty. Aiden Canty comes into the game today, 273, 429 on base percentage, 1 RBI, 1 run. And as we mentioned, too, before the game, lineup kind of being same players, but just kind of mixing up a few guys from about number 5 down. Fastball outside corner for a strike. Quickly 0-2 to Canty.
Ames got the Scott Erickson thing going with the glove covering everything but, just maybe the top part of his eyes. There's barely anything he can see in there. I like that. Yeah. Intimidation factor.
0-2 pitch by Ames. Pop foul. It's going to get out of room for Christensen at first.
Nice job by Canty, just staying alive there, fighting off the 0-2 pitch.
When you're down 0-2, Skip, you just got to keep playing Bee Gees in your head, and that's how you get base hits. Just keep singing in your head, staying alive, staying alive.
That would be a
breathing mechanics of the
That'd be a great walk-up song too.
It would be. 0-2 pitch by Ames. Outside corner, strike 3. So the ump is giving the corner to Ames, and Ames is hitting it here early on. Going to bring up the designated hitter, the junior, will be Brody Illa, who was our pitcher yesterday, went 4 innings. So this year he's kind of stretching that arm out after Tommy John surgery last year. First outing, he went 3 innings, yesterday 4. And I think actually probably could have went into the 5th yesterday. Just had kind of a long, I think it was the 3rd and the 4th inning yesterday for Brody. Saw some batters, had some higher counts. So Eagan's lone lefty.
Second strikeout for Ames there. Both of them looking.
Yeah. Change up out for a ball. Illa on the season, 286 average, 524 on base percentage, which is second on the team. He's got the lone triple on the season, 3 RBIs, 2 runs, 1 for 1 on stolen bases. Curveball outside corner catches for a strike to the lefty, Illa. Perfect day for Illa to get one up in the jet stream, skip down the right field line.
Yeah, tuck one in that short
right porch,
field
right?
Porch, yep.
Change up low, swung through and missed. 1-2 now to Illa. A lot of activities happening throughout the game. There's constant announcements being made of raffle ticket winners for youth. Strike 3 on the outside corner, swung through. So 2 quick strikeouts here for Ames in the second. Bringing up the first baseman, senior Tony Hiveri. The big first baseman, the strong first baseman, tight end on the football team. Tony comes in 235 average, 333 on base percentage. Has that 1 home run at Eastview, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. We got hot dogs and chips and cookies for everyone throughout the game. Hopefully there's a hot dog or 2 left for Skip. That way Skip doesn't have to eat a TV dinner when he gets home.
Oh, I'm firing up the grill when I get home on a night like tonight.
Okay. All right. On a nice day like this, right?
Yeah.
One-0 count to Hiveri. Holds nicely on a curveball and low and outside. 2-0. Wildcats trying to get something here going, 2 outs like they did last inning.
Yeah, one of the rare times that a Wildcat batters found themselves ahead in the count.
Yeah. Yeah, Ames has been impressive. He's been attacking the zone early and often. Fastball just misses. And that, to me, I don't know where that one was, because that looked like it was down the middle and it didn't seem up. I mean, this guy, we got a 6'3" batter right now.
The only thing I can think of was he's not giving it just above the belt.
Sure.
Because it looked like it was right down the middle of the plate.
There's the 3-0 get-over pitch for a strike, so 3-1. He's doing a good job behind the plate. I'm not going to play umpire and announcer today, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I'll try my best. But, it's the pitcher of me that wants these as strikes, even when Egan's up at the plate. All right, 3-1 pitch by Ames to Hiveri. Ball 4. Is that Ames' first walk?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Parker Pangier, shortstop sophomore. Step into the dish. Parker, 400 on base percentage, 1 RBI, 1 run. So put one in the gap here, maybe get his second RBI in the season and get his first extra base hit of the season. Similar to yesterday, too, with the Cougars' defense, not a whole lot of shifting, whether it be the outfield or the infield. Everybody, for the most part, playing all these hitters from Eagan straight up. And Parker got hit yesterday. He almost gets hit again today.
Maybe the one stung a little yesterday, and he's like, all right, I'm going to do a better job of getting out of the way this time.
Ames' pitch to Pangier, popped to center, but Chamberlain's got a beat on it, takes about 5 steps to his right to retire Pangier. So the Wildcats get no runs on no hits, no errors, and that 1 left on. Back in 60 seconds as the Eagles are set to come to the plate here at Wildcat Park on Eagan TV. Casey Locke, Skip Newton here at Wildcat Park. Another wonderful day here in spring. South Suburban Conference matchup as the Apple Valley Eagles looking for their second win on the season. They come in today's contest 1-5. The Eagan Wildcats come into today 4-3 with an impressive 3-1 record at home. They took their first loss at home yesterday in a 5-3 defeat by the visitors of Lakeville South. So freshman is Wyatt Jeleno as our starting pitcher. As he steps to first pitch was to the number 3 hitter, the catcher Cam Nolan.
Nolan grounded out to short in the first inning. He's 0 for 1.
Okay. Here's the 1-0. Fastball outside corner in there for a strike. So now he's maybe letting that zone climb a little bit. All right, 1-1. Here's our count. Across the outfield, you got Drew Boyd in left, Tate Gage in center, Will Mitchell in right. Another nice fastball at the knees for a strike. Across the infield, if you didn't hear us early on, senior Theo King at third, sophomore Parker Pangier at short, junior Aiden Canty at second, senior Tony Hiveri at first. Brandon Lunenberg doing the catches. The 1-2 pitch outside in the dirt. 2-2. Jeleno has that one strikeout from last inning.
Yeah, I was looking. Yep.
Okay.
To end the inning, as a matter of fact.
Doing a better job of getting ahead on the account here. There's a slow roller. It's going to be fielded by Hiveri. The pitchers and fielding practice right there as Jeleno does a nice job of hustling over to cover first. Underhand flip by Hiveri for the first out of the inning. Here you go, Skip.
Yeah, that's a tougher play than it looked. Nice job covering the base. We could see the throw
was low
behind him, and he had to go down and behind him.
Yeah, and it looked like he actually used his, which because of the throw being low, he actually used his left foot to basically have it on first base as opposed to his right foot and stretch. So yeah, that's what they always tell you. Get the angle, find the base, then get your eyes up to show that you're ready for the throw. Number 4 hitter is Ryan Christensen. Hit a laser double with 2 outs in the first for an RBI single to bring in Chamberlain with 2 outs. Christensen set to play baseball next season at the Gophers of University of Minnesota, the Sky Umas. He can use all of his gold Apple Valley gear next year too.
That's right.
And actually, speaking of the Gophers, I believe it's their head coach's first or second year. Does that sound right? After, what was it, John, the longtime coach?
Yeah.
I think this is
John. Was it John? I don't know why I want to say Anderson.
It is John Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this is a first or second year, and they've actually, I think, jumped out to a really nice start this year. It's something with the Gophers. It's hard to find them if you can actually catch them on Big Ten Network, right? And they play so many games, down south to start the year. Slow roller over to Canty, flips it over to his teammate Hiveri at first for the second out of the third inning. And now we're going to see Jackson Thornburg, the shortstop, come up. Throws right, bats left.
It's a routine play, I mean.
Yeah, 3-hopper to second, but nice job of charging it, right? Get it on a good hop.
Perfect throw.
Short throw. But yeah, Gophers having a heck of a season, I think, to start. I think it's been a very long time. I know that team with like Max Meyer, that's pitching for the Marlins now. Max Meyer from Woodbury. A few other guys off the tip of my tongue. But anyways, I know that team was about the closest they've been to Omaha in a while. And I don't think they've been to Omaha since Molitor or Winfield, I believe.
Yeah, it's
right?
been a minute.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is you have to remember is the College World Series, there just isn't many teams from the Big Ten that ever make it. Fastball misses out 1-2.
I feel like, teams up north are just at a significant disadvantage
Correct.
weather-wise. Some sports are just like that. Soccer's another one. It's probably reversed for hockey. I mean, you don't see a lot of...
Hot shot to left center. Nice piece of hitting by Thornburg to go with that outside pitch. He's going to have a double. Let's see if he goes for 3, and he's going to take a big wide turn and get back into second safely. So nice piece of 2-out hitting there on a 1-2 pitch. As he lasers that one, goes with the pitch. Little Joe Mauer double to left center. Once again, Apple Valley threatening here with 2 outs.
Yeah, he crushed that one to the gap, like you said, right at the 384.
Yep. Yeah, it took a big turn like you're supposed to. Luckily, he didn't fall down. Otherwise, he would have had the same, the same outcome as Will Mitchell had when he was, picked off from behind on that relay in the first. Jeleno's fastball is out for a ball, and this is Drew Raymer, the left fielder.
Singled and scored in the second inning.
Yep. I think he led off that inning, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So 2 down. Our score is 2-1. Apple Valley Eagles leading the home Eagan Wildcats here on Eagan TV. Fastball in there for a strike. 1-1 now our count. We have a little bit of action in the bullpen. I think it's J.D. Krieger, who I think if he pitches today, I believe that'll be his first outing of the season on varsity. And he was getting loose a little bit yesterday in the 7th as well. Jeleno, 2-1 count to Raymer. Fastball in, now 3-1. Top of the 3rd. Pitch count is obviously moving up. I think the rules is, I think you can start an at bat at like 94, 95. No, they let him go up to 100 some? Maybe like 105 or something like that, I think is the number. So Raymer takes a walk. That'll bring up the pitcher, Paxton Ames.
Sitting at 63 pitches right now, so over 20 an inning.
Yeah, I think it's like 105. I thought is kind of the number somewhere in there. But you can start an at bat at 104, but then that's obviously your last at bat, last batter that you can face. Relievers, I believe it's around like 85 or so pitches within 3 days, I think.
Okay.
So in theory, a pitcher could go out there and go, 20, 30.
Ames singled in the second, and then was forced out at second base on what ended up being the run-producing play.
Yep.
Force out at second, but the throw to first was wild, allowing the runner to get home.
Ball's hit out to left, right at Drew Boyd for the 3rd out of the inning. So Apple Valley, no runs on the 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on. 2-1 is our score. Back in 60 seconds for the bottom of the 3rd as the Wildcats will be coming to the plate here on Eagan TV. Back here on Eagan TV, South Suburban Conference action. Apple Valley Eagles, the visitors, leading 2-1 here as we're set to start the bottom of the 3rd inning. Watch Coach Weinberg take his stroll over to first. Paxton Ames is the pitcher today for the Eagles. No action in the Apple Valley bullpen yet. And the Wildcats will be sending up their number 9 hitter will be Drew Boyd. Sophomore, and then we'll flip the lineup over to the back to the top of the lineup with senior Tate Gage. So we'll see what Boyd can do here and see if he can get on base. Boyd is one of the speedsters on the team, 5 for 6 on the season for stolen bases. So obviously if he gets on, it'll be a threat to steal. 3 runs, has the 1 double, and 286 on base percentage.
So far, pretty good for Ames.
Yeah.
2 innings, just 32 pitches, 3 strikeouts, a walk, couple of hits, and that 1 run.
Yeah. Yeah, and that walk was in the 2nd inning, I think, correct?
Yep.
And that was the number 7 hitter. So, I mean, he didn't get to too many high ball counts, 3-2, 3-1 counts for the first 6 batters. Sophomore left fielder Drew Boyd settles in at the plate, and Paxton Ames, his first pitch, going to do a drag bunt, but he's going to bunt it right back to Ames, who relays it in time to Christensen. 1 pitch, 1 out. I think he's trying to do a little push bunt, maybe towards the second baseman there.
Yeah, the only way that you typically see that one get on for a hit is you have to get it past the pitcher.
Correct. Yeah, and even if you bunt it hard, even towards the first baseman, then it just kind of becomes a race between you and the first baseman to get to the bag. Or if the second baseman is covering, but a lot of times, he's trailing behind, he doesn't get there in time. Senior Tate Gage steps in, center fielder, set to play at Concordia St. Paul. More baseball next year. Curveball, big looping curveball in there for a strike.
Gage 0 for 1.
Okay.
Popped out to the shortstop in the first inning, leading off the game. Did work the count full.
Yeah, had some hits yesterday, so he raised that average up to 360, 429 on base percentage. 2 doubles as well. And a threat to steal if he gets on base. Ball's hit to the hole. Thornburg's throw across the diamond. In time, big stretch by Christensen to get out Gage for the second out of the inning. Nice job by Thornburg to get over there and corral that. For a split second, I thought that might be in the hole, maybe be a backhand. Was curious to see if he'd get enough on his throw, but got around the ball, fielded it cleanly, and a strong throw to the big first baseman, Christensen. Senior third baseman, Theo King, steps up to the plate here with 2 down.
King singled and stole a base back in the first. 1 for 1.
Yep, came in and scored the lone run on that 2-out RBI double by Will Mitchell. Change up, outside corner in there for a strike by Ames. Across the outfield for the Eagles, you got Raymer in left, Chamberlain in center, and Britt in right. 0-1 is our count, 2 down. And the pitch to King. Another curveball misses out. Across the infield for the Eagles, you got Horner at third, Thornburg at short, Galovich at second, Christensen at first, and Nolan is doing the catching. 1-1 count. In there for a strike on a changeup outside corner. One-two count, 2 down here, bottom of the third, Wildcat Park. Youth Baseball Day. Big crowd, usually one of the biggest crowds of the season. And we're thankful for excellent weather. We got kids chanting and cheering in the background, which we like.
Yeah, they're up and down, moving around. It's lively in the stands.
Absolutely. One-two count, 2 down. Bottom of the third, Ames's pitch. Swung on, hit up the middle. Big hop, that's gonna go off the shoulder of Thornburg. Thornburg had the right angle, was charging it. The last second, that extra spin popped up, caught him in the shoulder. I'm ruling that a hit.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't give him an air and a bad hop like that.
Yeah, that was a nasty hop.
King will be 2 for 2. Junior catcher, Brandon Lunenborg. I'm going to give a thank you too, Skip. Somebody that you know well, that we work with, does an excellent job of always communicating. The president of the Eagan Booster Club, which is Bridget King, that'd be Theo's mother. So she's done it now for 2 years. Usually it's a 1-year kind of job, but she's done it for 2 years and does an excellent job of not only keeping us in line, but keeping us informed. And it just seems that she has everything already kind of planned out a week in advance. So she was obviously in charge of getting all the food and everything set up for today, the announcements and so forth. So big thank you goes out to Bridget King, Theo's mom. So with that being said, King's going to take off, look for his second stolen base of the day. Going to be cut down on a strong throw by Nolan, and the tag applied by Galovich. So now King will be 2 for 3 on the season for stolen bases. The Wildcats are going to have no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. 2-1's our score. Back in 60 seconds for the top of the 4th as the Eagles are coming to the plate here on Eagan TV. New pitcher here on Eagan TV. Casey Luck, Skip Newton. We got a new pitcher. It'll be junior J.D. Krieger, his first varsity outing of the season in relief of freshman Wyatt Jeleno. So we have no stats yet for Krieger, as his first batter will be his first stat of the season on varsity. He does throw fastball, slider, as well as changeup for his repertoire on the mound. If many remember last year, the Wildcats, rough start to the season as they started off 0-6. Rounded into form as the season kept moving along, and then found themselves actually started 0-5. They were a 7-13 squad overall. Then they won their first 3 playoff games, so they found themselves in the section final, and unfortunately were bested by Eastview in both games in the section final, as Eastview then went to state. Eagan Wildcats still looking for their first ever state appearance in baseball.
I like their chances. I mean, the boys soccer team could have said the same thing last fall, and look what happened there. State champs.
Yep.
Got some final numbers here on Jeleno. 3 innings pitched, 64 pitches, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned.
63 pitches?
64 according to my semi-official stats.
But yeah, about 20 an inning. I mean, you like to get that number obviously down, right? If you can kind of live in that 12 to 15, that means that you're probably seeing 3 or 4 batters at most. You're not walking guys. You're not getting the higher counts, right?
Yeah. In comparison, Paxton Ames for the Eagles, 41 pitches in the 3 innings, right?
Yeah. So yeah, there's that number we're talking about, right? All right. So I'm excited to see what Krieger does in his first outing here in the top of the 4th. Second baseman will be the number 8 hitter, Brody Galovich. Batting on the left side, throwing on the right side. First pitch by Krieger. Swung on and missed on a slider, low.
Galovich hit into what looked like it was going to be a double play to short. They got the force out at second. The throw was low to first. That allowed the run to come around and score.
Fouled up down the third base line out of play. Big foul territories, but it is interesting that as big as the foul territories are, you don't see too many balls being caught in foul territory.
Yeah,
the wind tends to take it one way or the other, essentially. But yeah, I mean, as it kind of opens up there, I mean, by both dugouts, I mean, there's a lot of room. I mean, a lot more than you're used to at a ballpark. 0-2 quickly to Galovich. Krieger's pitch, knuckled right in front of home plate. Lundenberg's throw, spun on to first to Highbury. We're going to get a little bit of a conversation between the base and plate ump. I'm interested to see what the call is.
He was indicating foul.
Right.
And that, in order for that to be foul, it would have had to hit behind the plate. Is that correct?
Yeah. But the way that the ball came out, it seemed like it hit like the front corner of the plate because it didn't even get onto the grass. It stayed in the dirt. We'll see what reasoning is here. He calls Coach Butler over. Coach Butler goes, me, as in like, I'm not in trouble. We're trying to just get the out. I think he's saying he did call it foul, whether it was foul or not. So Galovich may get a second chance here at his at-bat. We'll see.
It is the theory being that because he indicated foul, they have to go with that call.
I think so.
Even though the runner didn't stop.
Right, but I think if they say foul and if he says it loud enough, which obviously we can't hear as well because we have our headphones on, then that could potentially have the runner maybe not run or obviously go half speed, right? So 0-2 is our count. Nobody out. Galovich still at the plate. Maybe Krieger will pick up his first varsity strikeout instead here on his first batter. 0-2 pitch. There it is.
Beautiful.
Throw down to first by Lundenborg, and it's plenty of time. First out of the inning as Krieger gets his first strikeout. You should throw that ball to the dugout. Keep that thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe give it to you for the call.
I'm laughing because I know exactly what happened in that dugout. He'd throw the ball to the dugout, they'd go, get your glove up, they'd throw it right back to him and say, we're going to keep playing baseball.
Yeah.
This isn't the pros where they roll over the ball to the dugout after your first hit in the majors. First pitch swinging is the number 9 hitter, Liam Horner. Getting blocked here a little bit, so Theo King comes all the way across the diamond, catches it almost by second base for the second out. So Krieger doing an excellent job here. He's throwing 4 pitches to the first batter and only 1 to the number 9 hitter. That one definitely carried. There's that wind you're talking about to right.
Yeah, I'm sure when it went off the bat, King is like, all right, I got this.
Right.
In hindsight,
Pangier or Canty could have had it, too.
Right.
So leadoff hitter now back up at the plate, Ben Chamberlain for his third at bat of the day, playing center field. There's a nice slider, in there for a strike.
But the lesson for the kids watching both at home and here is, hey, once you make that call, unless somebody really aggressively calls you off, you have to stick with it and make the play.
Yep. 0-1 count. Nice pitch inside by Krieger. I like what Krieger's doing. A little mixture of fastball, slider. I haven't seen a changeup yet, but working ahead of the count here. 2 of the 3 batters, he's gone 0-2-2 right away. Heater up high for a ball. Good miss pitch. Yeah, and as you know too, Skip, I mean, if you kind of go by the laws of baseball, right? You know, center fielder has reign over the outfield as well as even anybody in the infield as he's coming in. Shortstop has reign over everybody in the infield. Nice play by Krieger. Sticks up the glove, flips it over to Highbury. We'll see if that gets the Wildcats going here with their batting lineup coming up in the bottom of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. A 1-2-3 quick inning by Krieger. Back in 60 seconds for the bottom of the 4th here at Wildcat Park on Eagan TV. Casey Lux, Skip Newton here at Wildcat Park, South Suburban Conference action. Facing the visitors 1-5 on the season, Apple Valley Eagles taking on the 4-3 Eagan Wildcats. 2-1 is our score. We're going into the bottom of the 4th. We still have the starting pitcher Paxton Ames still on the mound with nobody getting ready in the bullpen. Pitch count is at, what do you say, Skip, 41?
Yeah, 41, so pitching really well, and Lunenburg stepping up.
And, you know, I would say, too, I mean, he's been throwing strikes. It's not as if the Wildcats are swinging early and you know, giving them free outs and swinging at bad pitches. So, you know, some would say, well, make him work a little bit more, take some more pitches, but he's throwing strikes early and often. You have to be up there ready to hit. As you know, too, Skip, so many times the first pitch that you see is the best pitch you're going to get all day, or, you know, that whole at-bat. Junior catcher is Brandon Lunenburg as he settles in. He was the hitter of record to end the bottom of the 3rd when Theo King was thrown out at second to end the inning. And a strong throw by the catcher, Cam Noland.
And he struck out looking in the 1st when Theo King stole his base.
There you go. 1-0 count. Hot ripped up the middle, base hit by Lunenburg. Lunenburg upped that batting average, as we said, with his 2 doubles yesterday. 333 coming into today, so that's going to keep rising. And then he gets to nicely go and relax in the dugout. And they're going to bring out the courtesy runner, Sam Stefanski, who ran yesterday for Lunenburg. Junior Will Mitchell playing right field today. Number 4 hitter in the lineup. Had the big 2-out double in the bottom of the first, and then rounded second base a little too hard. He got back picked on a nice relay play by Thornburg, the shortstop, to the trailing first baseman, Christensen, at second. Hits now even at 3. Curveball in the dirt low. Only one error, and that was on the errant throw by Pangier. So a clean game so far, Skip. Well played. Not necessarily any diving or, amazing top 10 SportsCenter type of plays, but both teams making the routine play.
Yeah, all the hits have been legit ones, right? Like you didn't say, "Oh, that one maybe could have been played." It
Correct.
was like, no, they've all been clean hits.
Yep. Been hit hard too. King had the one obviously where it was scolded up the middle. It just took a really bad hop off of caught Thornburg's left shoulder. 2-0 count to the junior Will Mitchell. Stefanski, courtesy runner at first, going to get back in time on the pickoff attempt by Ames. Middle infield playing up a few steps in their double play depth. As you see Galovich playing a little bit closer to the base as well as Thornburg. There's a throw down to first by Nolan, not in time. Stefanski just gets in. Big target for Nolan at first and Christensen. 2-1 count. 2-1 is also our score. Bottom of the fourth. Beautiful day here at Wildcat Park. This is already Eagan's 5th home game, so some would say a little bit front-loaded with home games here to start the season as they want to take advantage. This one's hit up the old elevator shaft, but it's going to be to center field and caught by Chamberlain for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, just got under that one. It was pretty well hit, but
yeah,
just got underneath an easy can of corn out in center field.
Yeah. Yeah, Chamberlain only had to move about 15 feet to his right. Second baseman's junior Aiden Canty. He settles in.
Struck out looking to lead off the second inning.
Okay. 273 average, 429 on base. 1 RBI and 1 run. Looking for a second RBI, maybe with a ball hit to the gap or down the third baseline. As he fouls that one down the third baseline, but foul. Yeah, the interesting, I guess kind of stat I'm thinking of now is I wonder how many first pitch strikes Ames is throwing, because I would like to imagine about 70% of the hitters that he's faced, he's led that at bat 0-1. Another throw down to first as Stefanski gets in safely. 1-1 is our count as that curveball missed out.
Yeah, we're not keeping that stat, but it does feel like
Yeah.
it's been a first pitch strike more often than not, for sure.
Well, and I think that's also what you're seeing. That's what we mentioned, right? That's why we're seeing the Wildcat hitters, going up there ready to swing at the first pitch, knowing that he's been consistently around the plate. A little more confusion here. I don't know if they're trying to figure out what the count is. I had 1-1.
I have 1-1 as well. That second pitch was,
I think the umpire might have got confused by the scoreboard.
which they've now
Corrected.
yes.
All right, ready to play baseball again, Skip.
When I wonder if Canty looked out at it, saw a 2-0 and
Maybe asked.
maybe
right?
asked, yeah.
All right, Stefanski at first doing the courtesy running for Lunenburg, who led off the inning with a single up the middle. 1-1. Swung on, missed on the curveball, throw it on the second, not in time. Nice scoop by Galovich, but Stefanski grabs his first stolen base, I believe, of the season.
No play there at second. Bit of a slow pitch coming in.
Yeah, I picked the right pitch, right? Picked a curveball. And then Canty did his job in protecting the runner by taking a swing. Maybe slow up the catcher a little bit. So 1-2 count. Canty looking for a second RBI in the season here with a base hit to try to bring in Stefanski, tie this game up at 2s. 1-2 is our count, 1 out. Bottom of the fourth. Here's Ames's pitch. to Canty as he takes a look at Stefanski at second. Fouled back. Staying alive is Canty.
I think that one caught the catcher, Cam Nolan.
Yeah, on the forearm maybe?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, he has a pad on his glove side, but I think that might have caught his throwing arm maybe in the forearm. It looks all right. Strong kid. 1-2 count, 1 out. Bottom of the fourth. Apple Valley Eagles leading 2-1. Sam Stefanski takes his lead at second, getting himself closer and closer since he's in scoring position. As Thornburg and Galovich keep an eye on him, as well as Ames. Here's the pitch. Fastball out, miss. 2-2. Yeah, you kind of feel just kind of the quietness. The home Wildcat fans just kind of waiting for that big hit. And I think so is the dugout. I mean, it just seems like the momentum is slowly building, but Apple Valley's been able to keep it at bay here ever since getting that second run right away, or getting their second run right away in the top of the second. Here's the 2-2. It's going to be popped up. It's going to stay in. Looks like the shortstop, Jackson Thornburg, is going to easy catch for the second out of the inning, retiring Canty. Bringing up the junior now, designated hitter is Brody Illa. 286 average, 524 on base, 1 triple, 3 RBIs, 2 runs, 1 stolen base. Eagan Wildcats as a team batting .240 with a .403 team on base percentage. They've had 9 doubles as a team, 1 triple, 3 home runs. Scored 34 runs coming into today, and 73% on stolen bases at 17 of 23. 2 outs to the junior Illa.
0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the second inning.
I think last year, I think I might even have their stats. Last year, their stolen base percentage was just wild. I'll find it here in a second. 2 down. First pitch to Illa. Strike low on the outside corner. Yeah, here it is, Skip. This is a pretty wild number. Last year, they were going into the 2 games against Eastview in the section final. 80 of 93 for stolen bases for 86%.
That's impressive.
I mean,
Not
it's just
only-
like unheard of.
Not only in the success rate, but just the sheer numbers.
That's what I'm saying. 93 stolen
Yeah.
base attempts before they played 2 more games. You know, and if you're pulling it at 86%, it's like that also means that like 7 of the 9 regular guys in your lineup are probably stealing bases at any time that they're on first. It's just it's an art it just seems that's being somewhat lost at times. Not because it's like trickled down from the majors where they want to let the guys swing away, but you just don't see as many teams want to be aggressive on the base pass. 1-1's our count to Illa, the junior designated hitter. Foul back. So now 1-2.
Yeah, if you can do it effectively, it is a nice weapon to have. I mean, it throws the other team off.
Correct.
It gives them something more they have to think about. You get
Correct.
the infielders moving.
Yes.
Just causing chaos.
I was going to say, that's
Yeah.
the thing, causing chaos. I mean, you think about it, too. You think about how many times you watch a game and then all of a sudden that ball gets thrown, gets past the second baseman. All of a sudden now you have a guy that went from first to third on one play with the ball not even being put in play, right? 1-2 pitch to Illa. Big swing and miss for strike 3 as Ames does a nice job of getting out of that inning after giving up the leadoff single. So 2-1 is our score. The Wildcats get no runs on that 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. Back in 60 seconds here on Eagan TV. little Men at Work in the background, Skip. Land Down Under. You knew that one, right?
Oh, yeah. Some classic tunes.
6'4" and full of muscle, they say. Met him down in Brazil, I heard. So, Casey Luck, Skip Newton here, brought to you by the wonderful folks at Eagan TV. And I'm going to remind everyone who's the wizards behind the broadcast. We got Tim, our director, in our ear, keeping us in line throughout today's broadcast. Josh doing the producing and the graphics. Winter, she's our audio and replay wizard. And then on the camera crew, the friendly folks of Rachel, Ken, and Nick. JD Krieger in for his second inning, his first ever varsity appearance. First pitch swung on and missed, and that's going to be the number 6 hitter, and that's Drew Raymer, who's the left fielder. Raymer's third at bat.
Third at bat, 0 for 2, struck out looking in the second.
Okay. Oh, 1 is our count. Fastball misses up. A little Eagan team pitching stats after yesterday's game. They've given up 16 earned runs, 42 to 12 strikeout to walk ratio, which obviously all coaches will take that, and a 2.41 ERA. Another nice play by Krieger, who's fielding his position. The hot 2 hopper that he got his glove down in time, it scooted out of his glove, but he kept it under control, didn't rush his throw, retired Raymer as his throw over to Hyveri.
That quick glove definitely helping himself out. Couple outs in a row here,
Yeah.
one to end the fourth, and now to start off the fifth.
Correct.
Cam Nolan steps in. He's also 0 for 2, grounded out to short.
Swung on and missed to the catcher, Nolan. By contrast, I said that Egan's team ERA was 2.14. Last year, they had a solid 3.72, so they actually shaved a runoff from last year at this rate early on.
That's a significant difference. I mean that's huge.
Well, and you have to factor in, you have 2 guys in Will Mitchell and Brody Illa. They're both juniors, but now we're at the third-year varsity, right? So just the experience factor that they have when they go out on the mound. But at the same time, then you add in, you have a freshman in Jeleno who made his second appearance starting today. And then Madaman, I think, only threw 1 or 2 times last year, primarily in relief. So, it's a combo of new pitchers and then 2 starters. That one's up the middle, but that one's going to go right between the old 5-hole of number 4, Krieger, between his legs for a base hit to center field by Nolan.
I think Krieger had to look past or get past the instinct to try and knock that down with his body, and I think that was the right decision. I mean, you're not going to get a glove on that one, and you're just going to hurt yourself.
Right.
You get,
a
knee or an ankle in the way.
You could try to do the old kick stop, right? But then what ends up a lot of times happening is, and then now you direct the ball one way or the other, and then like if you direct it, towards third, like you potentially have a guy on second. So just leave it. There's a throw over as Nolan gets back in time. And I did see Nolan wave off his head coach, Jeremy Hendrickson, saying, I want to run. So he didn't want the courtesy runner to come out.
And a lot of times the catchers will take the courtesy runner just so they can get the equipment running.
Correct.
Keep the game moving a little bit faster, right?
Yep.
Not sure where that one missed.
So Ryan Christensen, future Golden Gopher, going to play baseball next year for the University of Minnesota. First baseman, had the big 2-out RBI double to right field in the first. We have 1 out here with J.D. Krieger on the mound. And then when I was mentioning, too, another contrast of last year's pitching between this year and last year. This year they're 42 strikeouts to 14 walks. Last year, where's my stats here? Last year they were, as we see, a curveball just missed. So here's an interesting one. Last year there was 147 strikeouts, but 116 walks. So almost, close to 1-to-1, whereas this year it's more of a 4-to-1 ratio. So, things that on the pitching side that obviously, like as we mentioned, gives you the chemistry and components to make a deep run in the playoffs. Fastball outside corner in there for a strike.
Yeah, if you can combine the good pitching with solid, just regular good play defensively,
yep.
now you're really limiting to what the other team can do, from a run scoring standpoint. Then you just need to get the bats going, maybe even just a couple of innings.
Yeah.
Put a crooked number up there, once or twice, and you can win some games.
Popped up. It's going to be to Gage, and I think Mitchell's going to call him off, and he does for the second out of the inning. Gets a big out, retiring the number 4 hitter Ryan Christensen, bringing up the shortstop Jackson Thornburg, a senior, going to play football at lacrosse. Yeah, at first when the ball was hit, Skip, I thought it was going to be more towards Gage and center, but I think that wind kind of brought it back a little bit to right field. So Mitchell called it early, called off Gage. Thornburg steps in, hits lefty, but throws righty as the shortstop for the Eagles. Strike on the outside corner. Krieger just pumping the strike zone. But yeah, I think exactly to your point, their pitching is going to keep them in games. I don't think they're going to have, where they're, giving up 6 runs by the 4th inning, right? It's going to be having those timely hits and just kind of getting those rallies going, so that way they don't have to kind of keep chipping away at, 1 run an inning, or get down by, 4 runs and have a hard time, putting together a big inning of doubles and singles and so forth. So that pass ball is going to send Nolan over to second. Now he's in scoring position. 1-1 is our count, 2 down. 2-1 is our score to the senior shortstop, Jackson Thornburg.
Well, and they lost 5-3 yesterday afternoon, but the first 2 losses, were they both 2-1?
No, it was 2-1,
3-2.
It was 2-1 against Farmington on Monday, and then it was the game that you did was 7-6.
Oh, that's right.
But they were one-run games.
Yeah, one-run games. Forgot about that.
Correct. And so far for the Wildcats, the most runs they've scored, they scored 13 against Burnsville, striking the outside corner, making it 2-2. They tend to run Burnsville 13-3. They did score 9 in the home opener against Prior Lake. But they've had, a game of 2 games where they've won 1-0. One of them would be an 8-inning win against Lakeville North. 6 runs scored against Eastview. Only 1 against Farmington, 3 yesterday against the Cougars. Misses outside, so now it's 3-2 full count to number 5 hitter in the lineup, shortstop Thornburg.
Now I'm watching the game live, not the screen.
Sure.
So it's tough for me to tell how close that pitch was. I think
I missed that one looking down too. There's a swing on a missed foul tip that Lundenberg was unable to squeeze. Yeah, I might have caught good call. Might have caught the, Tim let us know, I might have caught maybe the backhand of the mitt.
He's going to shake it off.
Oh, yeah.
Or did the backswing hit it?
I was kind of curious if the backswing caught his hand, but yeah, just probably pulled the fingers back a little bit. He's a tough kid behind the plate. As we mentioned, Brandon as a junior did some varsity catching as an 8th grader, so already on his 4th year of varsity. We flip down the third base line. We're going to see if King's got room, and he does. And a nice catch by King.
Oh, what a play.
As he falls backward to make the play, take away that threat of Nolan at second with 2 outs. So the Eagles, get no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. An amazing catch by King. We'll see if that gets the bats hot here in the bottom of the 5th. Back in 60 seconds here on Eagan TV. Casey Luck, Skip Newton here, Wildcat Park, South Suburban Conference action. 2-1 is our score going into the bottom of the 5th on a beautiful day here. Wednesday already. Back-to-back games on Eagan TV as they broadcasted yesterday's loss against the Cougars. Eagan TV wants to see a win so that way they don't feel like they're a jinx here
Well,
at home.
them or me. I mean,
Or
I've
you, Skip.
called 2 games. I'm 0-2. I'm going to
Yeah, I know.
Butler's going to say, you know what, Skip, thanks, but no thanks. You're
Yeah.
out of here after this.
Solo queso doing the games. Tony Hiveri, the big first baseman, will be settling in, the senior. Third at bat, correct?
Just the second at bat.
Jeez, that's right, because Ames has been mowing down here.
Yeah, you walked back in the second
Okay.
inning.
That was the only walk?
The only walk, I believe. I'm going to look through the stats quick. Yeah, that's the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, and he battled. That was a good at bat by Tony. So Ames still on the mound. Nobody in the bullpen yet for the Eagles. J.D. Krieger doing an excellent job in relief of the freshman Gelano. Fastball misses out. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think maybe Andrew Leakus maybe be next in line in relief. But obviously they want to keep some pitchers for tomorrow's game as long as weather permitting. 1-0 pitch to Hiveri. Swung on a missed on a fastball down the middle.
Good cut by Hiveri there. I'd like to see the bats get active here for the Wildcats.
Yeah.
4 hits, but they've been spread out nicely
Yeah.
so far by the starting pitcher Ames.
Yep. Yeah. 1-1 pitch. That one is laced down the line. Hits the base of the green monster for a long single by Hiveri. I want to get his strong bat here going, and he does so as he deposits that fastball down the left field line. Leadoff single. Back-to-back innings now for the Wildcats. Leadoff singles.
Yeah, I'd like to see them again string together some hits, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's a great start. I mean he absolutely crushed that ball.
Yeah.
I mean hit the bottom of the
Got out there
monster.
quick too. Got out there quick.
Too quick.
Yeah, right. Too quick is right.
In
If
fact,
there's ever such a thing, right?
He needed it to not hit the wall on the fly. If it hits the ground first, maybe
Right.
it pops up high enough and he can get to second base for
Right.
the double.
Or maybe just catch the wall just right. Maybe catch a seam and then it shoots left or right, and then he's on second base. So Parker Pangier, the sophomore shortstop, will settle in. Parker on the year, 400 on base percentage, has an RBI and a run scored. Doing a nice job here as the new starting shortstop for the Wildcats. Going to show a bunt here early on, pull it back for a strike. Potentially maybe just a fake bunt to see what Apple Valley would do, how they would defend a potential bunt. And it looks like we're going to have Horner, the third baseman, is going to be creeping in. 0-1 count. Ames on the mound, thrown to his catcher, Nolan. Fouled straight back. 0-2 quickly to the sophomore Pangier.
Pangier 0 for 1, flew out to center field back in the second inning.
Okay. Yeah, and Ames did an excellent job last inning of getting out of that jam, right? Giving up the leadoff single, keeping that runner at second in Stefanski. 0-2 pitch. Curveball in the dirt. Nice hold there by Pangier. Something on the right side, Skip. There's a big gap between first and second with Christensen holding on. The first baseman, Hiveri. I mean, Christensen's a big dude. Hiveri is still another 3 inches taller than him. 1-2 count. Ames, the sophomore. Fastball just misses out. 2-2. 2-1 score. Eagles scored 1 in the first, fouled that up with another run in the second. Wildcats scored their lone run in the bottom of the first on a 2-run double by Will Mitchell. We're going to get a pinch runner, and that's going to be Jack Rappa, senior Jack Rappa. Put a little more speed on the base pass, potentially. 2-2 count to Pangier. Rappa going to pinch run, and then Hiveri will re-enter and play first base. And we're going to start playing baseball here in a second, and I think we're going to be ready,
Yeah.
Skip. Thought we were going to take a little coffee break or something there for a split second. 2-2 count. Here's Ames to Pangier with Rappa now running at first and a time called. And after all that, we still haven't thrown a pitch. Okay.
Wildcat dugout like that one.
I mean, trying to build up some tension or something, I think. 2-2. Here's Ames. Pangier. Swung on. Foul tip. Nolan couldn't hang on and squeeze that one.
532.
Coach Butler shouting out the old 5-3-2. Where are you, Skip? 5-3-2.
Oh, we'll see what that means.
Yeah. Well, I have a little insight, but I'm not going to give all the nuggets here as we see Rappa get back to first. You know, the other teams could be listening. So
right.
We don't, you know, I don't want to get reprimanded by Coach Butler either.
Solo Skip
My good
next
friend.
time, yeah.
Yeah, then it might be solo Skip. 2-2. Pangier misses up. And now the faithful are starting to get alive behind us, Skip.
Nice job by Pangier working the count full.
Yeah.
I mean, he was down
0-2.
0-2.
Yeah, and
Fouled one off as well.
And he showed bunt on the first one, so he kind of just gave up a strike on that first pitch. 3-2 pitch by Ames to Pangier. Swung on. Scooped up by Ames. Throws it over to Thornburg for the 1-6-3 heartbreaking double play. Excellent job by Ames there. Not only did he field it cleanly, here's the replay. Not only did he field it cleanly, he had to wait a half second to see who was going to be covering the base. Because at first I think he was thinking Galovich was going to cover. Thornburg covers, and Thornburg just didn't even take a step, just whipped it. And then in time to retire Pangier at first.
Well, and with the runner going, that was about the only way that a ground ball could have still produced a double play.
Right.
I mean, a comebacker clean, right?
Correct.
He just hit it right at the pitcher.
Yeah.
A little bit of bad luck for the Wildcats there.
Bad beat. Now 2 outs here. First pitch swinging is Drew Boyd, the left fielder, sophomore. Well, and as you know too, Skip, it's just this is how the game of baseball goes. You just got to keep grinding it out. You know, hope for a break to go your way at some point, and just keep this thing, you know, tight at 2-1. Both pitching staffs only giving up 4 hits each. 1-1's our count to Boyd. 286 on base, 1 double, 3 runs, 5 for 6 on stolen bases. When he gets on base, he might be able to get in scoring position here quickly. Swings through that curveball now, 1-2.
Boyd 0 for 1, grounded out to the pitcher back in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, both sides pitchers have got plenty of action. Krieger's had 2, Gelino had 1, and Ames has had now 2 or 3 I think back at him. 1-2 pitch, outside corner misses. 2-2, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, South Suburban Conference action. Wildcats trying to stay away from 500 as they currently enter today's game 4-3. Apple Valley looking for their second win in the conference as they enter today 1-5. Here's a 2-2. Curveball misses out. Another nice job here by Boyd working the count. 3-2 now full. And I think Ames knows that he has speed, so he doesn't want to give him a free base. In doing so, might be putting him right on second after a pitch or two, and the top of the lineup coming around. Here's a 3-2. Heater right by him. Strike 3. Wildcats, no runs. 1 hit, no errors. No one left on. Back in 60 seconds here on Eagan TV. Hey, we got a little puppy on the TV here. Say hi to Alfredo, we'll call him, or her. All right, so we got Blink 182 blaring in the background, getting people going here as we slide into the top of the 6. 2-1 is our score. J.D. Krieger, first varsity appearance, doing an excellent job. Going to start his 3rd inning of work as he's gone 2 complete in relief of freshman Wyatt Jeleno. Curveball misses low. And they're, for the Eagles, they're going to send up their 6, 7, 8 hitters. This is Drew Raymer, the left fielder.
Singleton scored back in the 2nd, walked in the 3rd, so technically 1 for 1.
Raymer piles into one to right center. Raymer's going to pick up his 2nd hit. Going to try to hose his way into 2nd. Strong throw by Gage. Not in time. Leadoff double for the Eagles. As we just talked about, we haven't seen much action or scoring since the 2nd skip. Eagles trying to add some assurance runs here on in the 6th inning off of Krieger.
Yeah, that one was well struck, no doubt. As soon as it left the bat, the only question there was they're going to be able to hold him to a long single.
Right. Strong throw by Gage.
Yeah, just a little too deep for that. They're unable to get him at 2nd base, but the leadoff double, a big one here. Apple Valley looking for an insurance run.
So then Apple Valley's going to bring in Noah Weaver as the pinch runner for Raymer. The batter will be the pitcher, Paxton Ames. Start of the game, already has worked 5 innings complete with only that 1 earned run.
Ames 1 for 2 with a single.
Okay. And we'll see if he lays down a bunt to help his cause on the mound and get Weaver over to 3rd. Fastball misses out. Going to get a little action in the Eagan bullpen. Still no action in the Apple Valley bullpen.
1-2-4, JD.
1-0 is our count. Nobody down here in the top of the 6. 2-1's our score with that leadoff double. Now Apple Valley with 5 hits on today's game, where the Wildcats only have 4 hits. Pickoff play, not in time, on the pinch runner Weaver. I feel like there's just a lot of numbers being yelled all around us. It's almost as if we're like at a bingo, but they're 3-letter numbers, 3 digits, not 2. Fastball misses in for ball.
So when did they go away from the signs, where you're touching your shoulder down to your hand, across the chest?
You're talking like third base coach, you're talking from the dugout?
Yes. But from the dugout.
Sure.
I don't, the numbers thing,
So for Eagan, the players have wristbands, right? And it covers obviously a numerous array of signs and defenses and so forth. So on defense, when he's calling out numbers, it's potentially who's going to charge on a bunt, who's covering, which bases they're going to cover, which way they're rotating, right?
Okay.
It might also be potentially you might throw out a number, and that might mean we're going to try to back pick with their shortstop to pick off the runner at 2nd. Another number might be we're going to have the 2nd baseman come in for a pickoff attempt at 2nd, right? Obviously, there could be pitch outs could be part of it, right? And then on the offensive side, obviously, as you know, it's going to be your bunt, your steal, your hit and runs, your fake steals, your double steals, things of that nature. So I think that way you probably have a little bit more control, I guess, and you don't have, somebody maybe missing a sign from third base coach, right? And the other thing I think too would be is that when you're putting on a play like that, you're also not worried that if you have like runners, bases loaded, that maybe like the runner on first base doesn't see the sign or is maybe being blocked by the pitcher, right? Fastball's gonna get past Lunenburg. Now it's gonna be 3-0 count as we see Weaver scoot over to 3rd. So Egan's got their work cut out for them if they want to keep this game at 2-1. So yeah, I think that's probably a lot of the reasoning behind it. Everybody kind of knows what's going on, team-wise, whether it's in the dugout or, the runners on the field or the defense on the field. 3-0 pitch down the middle for a strike. Now, on the pitching side of things, so Coach Degermont will be doing multitude of things. He'll be speaking into a speaker, and then the catcher does have an earpiece, and he's hearing what the pitch is and the location of where they want it, right?
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Didn't know that. Nice. Oh, and I see that earpiece now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Coming out of his right ear. Yeah, coming out of the right ear. So 2 quick strikes now, 3-2 count. Here's Krieger's pitch. Hot shot up the middle, knocked down by Pangier, keeps it in front, but Ames is going to glide his way into first for it, reaching on an E6. Right at Pangier, infield was in, so Weaver wasn't going to come home, but that was a out that they needed to collect.
Yeah, it was a nice job knocking it down. He didn't lose it, so he didn't allow the run, but he just couldn't find it either. I think he was so concerned with whether or not the guy was running home from third.
Correct.
He just couldn't locate the baseball underneath him.
Yeah. Yeah, it hit his glove, kind of went like right between his legs, and he was looking in front of him as, wanting to barehand and throw to first. In doing so, they're going to do a courtesy runner for the pitcher, Ames. So we're going to have Marcus Anderson now run at first. So you got 2 pinch runners, or a pinch runner and a courtesy runner, and Weaver at third and Anderson at first. J.D. Krieger's outing is going to be done as he completed 2 innings, but is responsible for 2 of these Apple Valley runners. What we're going to do now is we're going to throw it back to the truck here for 60 seconds as we watch our new reliever for the Wildcats. Back in 60 seconds here on Eagan TV. All right, we're back. 2-1's our score. Wildcat Park, South Suburban Conference action. J.D. Krieger did a nice job in relief. Had a quick 2 innings of relief, but didn't make it out of that top of the 6 as he has 2 runners that he still are set up for his stats. But we do have the lefty senior Camden Sexton. 1 game pitched so far, 1 inning, 1 strikeout to 2 walks. Clean inning, no runs. And Camden set to pitch at St. John's University next year up in Collegeville. Fastball misses out. He goes fastball, curveball, changeup, does the lefty. And I believe the only left-handed throwing pitcher currently on the Eagan Wildcats varsity lineup. You got pinch runner Anderson at first. Courtesy runner, and you got pinch runner Weaver at third. Nobody out. 2-1 is our score as the Eagles look to add some insurance runs here for the pitcher Paxton Ames, who's thrown an excellent game here so far. 2-0 count. Here's the pitch. Hot shot, base hit to right. That's going to play Weaver, making the score 3-1 on a 2-0 pitch, a hitter's count, as he deposits that out to Mitchell in right field. 3-1 Eagles. Is that the first hit of the inning? Or is it second?
Second hit, we had a leadoff double by Raymer.
That's right. I forgot about the leadoff double. Okay. So Weaver was pinch running for Raymer. Came in on from third. Now you have Anderson at second. Galovich, correct, at first? Yes, and now the number 9 hitter is Liam Horner, the third baseman, another lefty. That's part of the reason that maybe Coach Butler went to Sexton, right, is because Apple Valley does have a few lefties in their lineup, especially these back-to-back now here with Galovich and Horner.
Ames at second, still the responsibility of J.D. Krieger, but if he should come around, it will be an unearned run.
Yep.
He got on due to the error.
Correct. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. Bunt. Nice bunt down the line. Going to stay foul. Picked up by King. This is kind of the test of your defense and your pitching staff, right? Because the Wildcats, like I said, they've 4 hits, but they've all been scattered. So, I mean, you really want to keep it here at 3-1. I mean, you want to keep it at a 2-run deficit so you can kind of chip away in these last 2 innings, potentially, unless we get free baseball. But this also, for on the Apple Valley side, this could be that big inning that really opens up the floodgates, and all of a sudden you can look back and go, shoot, they scored 4 runs in the 6th inning.
Yeah, my stats, I think they gave an error on that bad hop instead of the hit, because I have 5 hits. But
okay.
Tough scorekeeper.
Yeah. Bunt gets down. Hyveri throw to Canty. And they were checking back with the umpires because, while Horner was running to first, he kind of threw his left hand up, hoping to deflect that throw from Hyveri to Canty. I think it's also going to bring out Coach Butler just to get a little explanation. Because if that was interference, then I think he would send the runners back, and that would be huge for Eagan.
I mean, it was definitely weird. I don't think people
it wasn't
run like
it wasn't to the A-Rod extremes when A-Rod was running to first and tried to punch the ball out of the guy's glove at first, as he's trying to be tagged, right? It wasn't to that level. But he did throw his hand up, to try to obviously distract Canty and maybe potentially have the ball hit his hand. Okay, so we have 1 out as of now with the runners on second and third. And yet that would be Galovich at second, and then the courtesy runner Anderson at third. 3-1 is our score, as Horner sacrifice bunted over those 2 runners. Butler maybe made a good point here because the home plate umpire wants to go talk to the base ump. This is a good game, with the youth being here. They get to see a lot of different things and understand what is right, what is wrong, what is going to be ruled on. Yeah, here we go.
So you watch here as he goes
just like
to
a
throw
Superman. Like, how does he know? I don't get. It's like,
are the shadows that long?
Or does he have eyes in the back? I mean, how did he know when to put his hand up as the ball's going? I guess he maybe seeing like Canty's eyes get bigger or something.
Would have been something if he'd actually hit the ball.
That was good stuff. I haven't seen something like that in a while. I just felt like that was something that you see like 8-year-old Little League.
Right. That's where mom or dad looks at the kid sitting next to him watching and say, "Don't do that."
Right.
Why not? Because you're not supposed to.
Yeah, we're gonna get
he's not looking. He's not looking, and all of a sudden, whoop.
I mean, it just goes over his hand, though.
It was either he's looking at Canty, or if the shadow, if he saw when he bent over to pick up the ball, I don't know, but that was fun.
That was good stuff. I honestly can say that, I'm not going to say I've never seen that happen, but I can't recall the last time I've seen anything like that happen. Okay, after all that fun and laugh and all that conversation, we're back, and fastball misses low. We're back to the top of the lineup. It's the center fielder, Ben Chamberlain. We have runners on second and third. Eagan infield is playing in. 1 out, and we just keep getting stoppages. Now we're going to come out and chat.
Chamberlain walked and scored in the first. Hit a fly ball out to Hyveri in the second inning and grounded out to Krieger, the pitcher, back in the fourth. So 0 for 2 with a run scored.
What I kind of saw, it looked like the pitching coach, Luke Degervant, kind of had this little grin on his face as he was walking out there. Like, I know you guys just got done talking for a long time. Really, what it is the mind games. What they're doing is they're trying to allow a little bit more time for Jackson Hollis to get loose. And I think, he probably was thrown out to the bullpen a little later than they wanted to. And all of a sudden they go, yeah, we probably want to go righty-righty in this moment instead of a lefty pitching into a righty. So
okay.
That's, I think, what it was. That's why after all that, we had one pitch, and then now we're going to have another break. So we're going to throw back to the truck here as the senior Jackson Hollis is going to get loose. We'll be back in 60 seconds here at the top of the 6 on Eagan TV. Back here, top of the 6th, 3-1 is our score. The visitors from Apple Valley, the Eagles, leading and threatening. Jackson Hollis, the senior, going to play baseball next season at Bethel. Jackson throws fastball, slider, changeup. 3 appearances prior to today, 4 innings pitched. 1-0 count, fastball misses out, 2-0 now the count to the leadoff hitter, Chamberlain. Only 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, no walks, and a slim 1.75 ERA.
A scoring question for you. Does the batter count against Sexton because he threw 1 pitch?
He does.
Okay.
He does because Sexton threw 1 pitch to him to start the at-bat. That was the official start of the at-bat. So, yes. So, essentially, he's still responsible for him as well. 2-1 count. Here's Hollis. Popped up. I don't know where this
It's right at the plate.
Okay, I was getting ready. That's why I looked straight up, Skip, because I was going to do one of these. Or I was going to do a big favor to Tim and Josh and make sure we block everything so that way it doesn't hit any of the equipment. Straight up to Lunenburg, and luckily he actually stepped backwards over the top of his helmet. They always say you want to throw that helmet, one way or the other, right? So, big out. Number 2 hitter is going to be up, and that's going to be Kellen Britt, the right fielder. So, Hollis comes in, runs the count to 2-1, gets the pop-up to Lunenburg to keep Anderson at second, as well as Galovich. Galovich at second and Anderson at third. 0-1 count, 2 down. Can Hollis do his job and get the Wildcats back to the dugout with limited damage of only the 1 run here in the 6th? 3-1 is our score. Apple Valley out-hitting the Wildcats 6-4, and the Wildcats with 2 errors to the Eagles 1 error. 1-1 count, 2 down. Senior Hollis to Kellen Britt. Heater for strike. Hollis pretty much Skip throws fastball slider. Does have a changeup, but doesn't throw it as often. Just likes to go hard.
Had 2 impressive innings of relief yesterday, 6 up, 6 down.
Lively arm. 1-2 pitch. Hollis to Britt. Heater up, 2-2. Yeah, he really came on last year as one of their most effective relievers. And I just, once again, as a pitcher, I just like small in stature, but like a true bulldog on the mound. And a very intense pitcher, not afraid to pitch inside. There was a slow slider, so he took something off there, fouled back. And we have a melee for the foul ball. I think they believe they're getting free bag of popcorn, but we don't have popcorn. So just go get that free baseball. 1-2 count, 2 down. Apple Valley threatening with runners on second and third here, leading 3-1. Bouncer up the middle, past the diving Pangier, gets out to Gage. Gage is going to throw it home, cut off by Hyveri. Hyveri's going to throw it into the outfield. We got a snowball fight. That's going to send Britt all the way to third. And a huge clutch bouncing base hit up the middle past the diving Pangier. That's going to play 2 runs on a 1-2 pitch with 2 outs. And both those runs will go against Krieger. That was a lot, Skip. That was a mouthful. Nice piece of hitting right back up the middle. Bouncing ball past Pangier. And since it didn't have a lot of speed on that ball to center field, wisely cut off by Hyveri. Hyveri was trying to cut down that runner at second. I think when he caught it, he was on the mound, and then that throw, as you can see here, well, he was actually behind the mound. But the throw then was high, ends up going to right center field where Mitchell has to go get it because Gage already had charged it and threw it in. There was a lot happening there.
Yeah, that was a full play.
So a big 2 RBI, 2-out single to punch this game from 3-1 to now 5-1 as Apple Valley still looking to add more with the catcher Cam Nolan at the plate. Slider in there for a strike. So Britt goes all the way to third on that base hit. 5-1 is our score. 7th hit of the game by the Eagles. Fouled straight back by Nolan, the number 3 hitter in the lineup, the catcher. Sahalis gets out of this inning. They'll still only have that 1 earned run on the season. 0-2 pitch, 2 outs. Flip to second. Canty had it. Hyveri either called him off or didn't hear him. Bounces out of Hyveri's glove. Britt comes in to score. Now it's 6-1. So 3 runs scored here, all with 2 outs. And a run scored on a should have been 3rd out of the inning pop-up.
Yeah, a couple of errors, a couple of unearned runs.
Yeah. That's too bad. It's one of those. I don't know. I don't know if Hyveri at first just thought that maybe Canty was playing more up the middle, but I mean that ball was going right to where Canty was. Foul tip back 0-1 quickly here. First pitch, to Ryan Christensen, the senior, set to play baseball at the University of Minnesota next season. The first baseman had a big 2-out RBI double in the first. Nolan, the catcher, gets his lead. Slider inside, just misses. 1-1.
1 for 3. Grounded out to Canty and fly ball to right field.
2 down. Top of the 6th, 6-1. Apple Valley looking for their 2nd win on the season. 1-2 count, 2 down. Still no action in the Apple Valley bullpen, so Paxton Ames will be set to go up for the 6th inning as his pitch count is still low. Line drive hit to Canty, and that'll get Eagan out of the inning, but the damage was done early and often as Apple Valley scores 4 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors, and 1 left on. 6-1 is our score. Eagan needs to get some rally going here. We'll be back in 60 seconds on ETV. Casey Lux, Skip Newton here on Eagan TV. Bottom of the 6th inning, Wildcats trailing by 5 after that 4-run 6th inning by the Eagles. And we're going to have the top of the lineup coming up, which will be Tate Gage. Quick thank you one more time to all those at Eagan TV. Tim, our director, Josh, producer and graphics. Winter, she's running the audio and replay, and then the camera crew of Rachel, Ken, and Nick on this lovely day. Wind picking up a little, but sun still out. Paxton Ames going to start the 6th inning here. First pitch, slider in there for a strike. In the outside corner to Gage. Senior leadoff hitter, center fielder.
Both balls hit to the shortstop. 0 for 2, fly out and a ground out.
Okay. This would be a good time to get Gage on base, get a rally going, maybe steal some bases, or maybe play a little safe and just try to go station to station. More action in the bullpen for the Wildcats. Looks like that's going to be Ian Cabrera getting loose. 1-1 count here. Here's Ames to Gage. Popped up. This could be shallow center as we see Thornburg go out. Makes a nice catch over the shoulder. That was the only one to make the play, would have been Thornburg, as Chamberlain was playing deep for Gage. Great catch by Thornburg, catching that one over his shoulder.
Oh, we saw a nice play there. Going back, this is very difficult. He stuck with it, well played. We saw Theo King make a great defensive play earlier, and I was going to say at the time it had ended the inning.
It seemed like that was a momentum.
Well, I thought so, but my point was going to be there is no sport where great defensive plays are as much fun to watch like there is in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just phenomenal to watch a great defensive play, and that was one really nice one there by Thorne.
Yeah. So Theo King, the senior, first pitch he sees, going to go rub off the top of his helmet for a hit by pitch. First batter hit today by Ames. And we're going to see the junior catcher, Brandon Lundenborg, come up to the plate. Just off the top of the helmet, got the bat down. I've seen plenty of times where that same play happens and the bat doesn't come down. It hits the bat squarely and it rolls right back to the pitcher for an out.
Well, and the nice thing there is he got his head out of the way enough so it just nicked the helmet. You just don't want to see one hit him solid.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Junior catcher, Brandon Lundenborg. Fastball's the inside, misses. King was thrown out earlier, so 2 for 3 on stolen bases, so will be a threat to run. Lundenborg, 333 average coming in today, had a base hit earlier, 538 on base. Leads the team in doubles with 5. It's definitely the power hitter. Put one in the gap and watch King run is what Coach Butler is looking for. 1-1 count, 1 out, 6-1 is our score. Visitors from Apple Valley leading. Hit hard but deep to center. Chamberlain going back, is carrying on him. Catches it about 15 feet from the fence. And King is going to tag up to second and put himself into scoring position. A very long sacrifice.
Yes, a rare sacrifice fly to get a guy to second base.
That thing was hit up in the sky, but that thing was hit way further and deeper than I thought off the bat. For as high as it was hit, I thought it was going to be kind of where Chamberlain's playing. I mean, Chamberlain had to go back to, I mean, it's hard for us to get the gauge here because we're lower on the ground, not up top, but it looked like he was about 10 feet away from the 390 sign of the fence.
It looked like it carried nicely. I'm sure the wind helped a little, but I was hoping it had just a little more carry because it looked good off the bat.
Yeah, well, and he would have hit it kind of into that the batter's eye, right? So I don't think there's a gap between the fence and the batter's eye. So he would have had to hit it to the right or left of the batter's eye if it was going to carry out for a home run. But I can't say I've seen a home run hit the center field here in 9 seasons. So Will Mitchell steps in. We got Will Smith. Everybody's getting jiggy in the crowd. And the junior Will Mitchell steps in. He's the right fielder today. Theo King in scoring position. See if Wildcats can get a 2-out rally. And when I say that, first pitch swinging is going to pop up to right. It's going to keep sending the right fielder Britt back, and he makes the catch as Chamberlain ran all the way from center and almost took that from him behind him. So the Wildcats, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on. We'll keep it here. How about that, Skip? We'll just we'll keep it here as we get ready for the top of the 7th. We'll just keep talking through here. So Paxton Ames, why don't you give us a little rundown here so far what Paxton Ames has done through 6 innings.
81 pitches.
Okay.
I don't keep the running stats, but
Sure.
the strikeout total, he had one in the 5th, but he's got, looks like 5 for the game according to just my quick glance.
I think 1 walk and 1 hit by pitch only though, right?
That sounds right to me. Yeah, I mean, he's been very good control-wise. Defense has played very well behind him as well. I mean, they're, I think just the one error, and that's the one where I would actually disagree. I thought it was a hit on a bad hop. I don't think that should have been an error. So really a flawless defensive game so far for the Eagles. And Ames, 5, like you said, 5-1 with a hit batter. I mean, any coach will take that ratio. Yeah. He's been around the plate.
Pitches
count
down.
is low. Yeah, I mean, what more do you want?
Absolutely. So another pitcher getting his first varsity debut today is going to be Ian Cabrera. He's a sophomore, big sophomore. And I got to see. I don't know if I have a scouting report on Cabrera yet. If I know. Yeah, I do, actually. Fastball, slider, and he throws a splitter as well. So you got a couple guys throwing splitters, actually, here. Likas, Cabrera, and Brody Illa that throws splitters. So bringing the splitter back, Skip. Got big hands. So, same lineup here for Wildcats. There hasn't been any substitutes on either side. And still no action in the Apple Valley bullpen, so they're going to set to go with Ames and see if he can get a complete game here today. Wildcats will be sending up their 5, 6, 7 hitters with the shortstop Jackson Thornburg set to lead off, who made that nice over-the-shoulder catch on Tate Gage's pop-up in to lead off the 7th. And I think we're going to have a new catcher as well.
Oh, 4 games in 4 days, right? I can see why, give Lunenburg a
Yep. Well, and the other thing,
off.
and the other thing too is if Lunenburg's at bat comes back up, if he comes back up, let's say they have a rally in the 9th, then he would re-enter to hit more than likely anyways, right? So we're going to have, I can't see here, number 1, Jacob Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand. There we go.
Bjorkstrand?
Yeah,
there we go.
Bjorkstrand. So he's going to get his first varsity action as well. And let's see here what Jacob is, because as they mentioned over the PA, that Ian Cabrera is a sophomore. So another young pitcher.
Now, while you're looking that up, I think I have the final numbers on the pitchers. That last inning was a little confusing, but J.D. Krieger went 2+. He did pitch to a couple of batters, 35 pitches, no walks, a strikeout, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. Camden Sexton, 2/3 of an inning, just 7 pitches, 1 hit, 1 run. I believe that one was earned. And then Jackson Sehalis, just 1 out, 13 pitches, 1 hit, 1 run. I believe that one was unearned.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, that's a mouthful, right? So Jacob, who's catching here, is a sophomore as well. So sophomore to sophomore. And probably some familiarity with Cabrera, right? Whether it be JV pitching at times this season or even last season, JV or freshman. Shortstop, the senior, Jackson Thornburg, steps in. Going to play football at University of Wisconsin La Crosse next season. First pitch by Cabrera, fastball for a strike on the outside corner.
Wonder what position he plays.
For football?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's a shortstop. Maybe running back or D-back. Foul ball in third base territory. King's going to have room. Gets the first out for Cabrera. I'll bring up the left fielder, Drew Raymer, who has a couple hits, right? If I remember correctly.
Nice play by King, getting there quickly and then getting set. So he's not
drifting,
racing over and drifting. Exactly. But yeah, Raymer has scored a couple of runs. He's got a walk. He's got 2 hits. So perfect day at the plate.
Perfect day at the plate. All right.
And one of those hits was a double last inning.
Correct. That was a leadoff double.
The leadoff, yes.
Right. Yeah, to get the party started, where the Apple Valley Eagles scored 4 runs and 3 of those runs coming with 2 outs. 6-1 is our score, as that slider is in there for a strike. 0-1 count now to Raymer. Sophomore Ian Cabrera, similar to J.D. Krieger, getting his first varsity action on the big field, as they say. That was a big swing by Raymer, and I think that might have...
Did he hurt himself?
I think he might have maybe, hurt his shoulder maybe on that swing a little bit. Looks like it's his lead shoulder, his front shoulder, his left shoulder. I think when he was swinging, maybe when he extended it at the end, might have pulled it, stretched it out a little bit. 0-2 count, 1 out. Jacob Bjorkstrand in to catch. Sophomore battery with Cabrera on the mound. And it looks like Raymer will come out. And I'm trying to think here. They already used up Anderson. No, they used up Weaver. So they got Boroff Hill and Paul Ashewski available. And it's going to be Donovan Hill will be hitting. So put that in the book. And then we'll see if Hill goes out to the left or if he just hits and they put someone else out in left field for Raymer. And the unfortunateness of, hey, we want to have you come in and hit. Oh, by the way, it's 0-2 count.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I think you should go up there and swing almost no matter what, right?
Yeah,
Don't go up there and just look at one pitch and strike 3.
Right, get a couple of warm-up rips and all right.
Hey, Donovan, you want to hit? Yeah? Okay, well, it's 0-2. All right, 0-2 pitch, 1 out. Fastball misses out. 1-2. You know, you have to think, too, it's like you've been sitting in the dugout for 7 innings, you know, trying to stay loose. But, you know, you don't have the beauty of, you know, a tee behind the, you know, like, you know, the major leaguers, obviously, they have hitting cages and stuff like that to stay loose throughout the game. 1-2 pitch by Cabrera. Slider low in the dirt, 2-2. Now we finally have a little bit of action in the bullpen for the Eagles, and it's going to be Kellen Britt looking like he's going to get loose. Fastball misses out, so Hill's doing a nice job here. He's looked at 3 straight balls. 2 guys actually playing catch, so it could be either of them, but I think Britt might be the one getting the loosest. This is the number 6 hitter in the lineup. 3-2 pitch by Cabrera. In the dirt, Hill gets a walk. Bring up the pitcher, Paxton Ames. 1 out. Top of the 7th, 6-1 is our score with the Eagles of Apple Valley traveling across the Metro with the lead. Big 4-run inning in the 6th. It was tied 1-1 in the first. Apple Valley took the lead in the top of the 2nd, 2-1. No runs between the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning. 4 by Apple Valley last inning in the 6th. Cabrera misses outside, 1-0 here in the top of the 7th. Ames with a hit or 2. I know he scored a run.
Ames with 1 hit and scored a run back in the last inning in the 6th. Yeah. He was the batter that reached on the error on Pangier, the shortstop.
Sure.
When he had the guy at 3rd.
Correct.
And lost track of the ball.
Fastball low and out. Go back to the backstop. It's going to send Hill to 2nd. 2-1 count. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. And what the Wildcats don't want is another long inning. And actually, that was one thing I didn't mention is I was impressed with the way Paxton Ames came back out and pitched in the 6th, because that was a long inning for him to be sitting on the bench. You know what I mean? When you're having a good game going, like, yeah, you want your team to score runs, but you almost want them to be quick runs so you just get back out there and stay in that flow. Fastball misses out, 3-1 now the count. So after Cabrera was throwing strikes early and often to the first batter, now having a little difficulty finding the zone than the last 2 hitters. Walked Hill, and the threat here of walking Ames. 3-1 count, 1 out. Top of 7th. And Cabrera's pitch. Fastball, fouled down the third base line. 3-2.
Like to see this one over the plate, make him swing.
Probably not the time. He's probably not going to throw a splitter. Probably has to trust the fastball here. Or a slider. Three-two count to the pitcher, Paxton Ames. Fastball. Four-hopper over to King. Checks the runner. Throw across the diamond. In time to Hyveri. Hyveri's throw to King. In time. A double across the diamond. King to Hyveri for the out at first. Hyveri to King with a nice scoop and tags out the runner Hill at third to end the inning. So for the Wildcats, no runs on no hits, no errors, no one left on. Back in 60 seconds, Wildcats need a rally, down 6-1 here on Eagan TV. Casey Luck, Skip Newton here at Wildcat Park. Bottom of the 7th. Eagan needs a big rally, so they need a lot of runners. Need a lot of action on the base pass. Get a traffic jam out there. Junior second baseman Aiden Canty set at the plate. I can't see who our left fielder is. It's not Donovan Hill, so they did send somebody else out to left field for the Eagles. That's really been the only change here today. There we go. Nice job by Tim in the truck. Christian Polashewski out in left field as a lefty. So Ames is looking to have a complete game here as he's set to start the 7th. Britt and Polashewski were getting loose in the bullpen. First pitch swinging is Canty, but hit right at Britt in right field as he backtracks 3 steps and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. I'll bring up the designated hitter, Junior Brody Illa.
Canty 0 for 3. Illa 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
And as I mentioned, I mean, Illa with the second best on-base percentage at .524. So, I mean, a guy that you want to have come up to get some runners on base. 6-1 is our score. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Wildcats getting out hit 7-4. And now they have 4 errors compared to the prior where they were sitting on 1 for about the first 5 innings. A couple miscues late. Big swing by Illa. 0-2 now. As Ames is holding on to his speed. I mean, it really hasn't. You can tell he hasn't really tired as the game's gone on.
Yeah, he's definitely settled into a nice groove. And like you said, getting past that long top of the 6th was really impressive.
Yeah, slider misses out, or misses in, 1-2 is our count. First baseman Tony Hyveri on deck. Junior Brody Illa, who was the pitcher yesterday, started the game against the Lakeville South Cougars.
He's still under 90 pitches.
I know, it's super
impressive.
Super impressive. Well, only one walk and only one hit by pitch. I mean, you only gave away basically 2 free bases as he strikes out Illa. Up to 6 or 7 strikeouts, only the 1 walk. Senior first baseman Tony Iveri steps in. 333 on base, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 2 runs. Crushed that one off the base of the fence, but that was a long single. Was that back in the 4th?
Fifth, yes.
Yeah.
And that was
leadoff.
Strikeout number 6 for Ames.
Okay. So 2 down. There's that slow curve. Swung through by Iveri. 0-1 is our count.
Not to be confused with the slider curve or a slurve.
Slurve, right.
Right.
Well, the one I couldn't think of before was the sweeper. That's the one that everybody in the majors wants to throw now. But yeah, the slurve is, a slow slider that drops more like a curveball than cuts across like a slider, right?
Baseball's version of sneet, maybe?
I think so. Baseball's version of sneet. 1-1 count, 2 down. 6-1 is our score. The home team down. Fastball misses out. 2-1.
But just looking back at the last few hitters, it feels like a long time since a batter was ahead of the count.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really been an impressive performance by Ames.
And as you mentioned, too, he really settled in from about the 2nd inning on. Fouled down the third base line over to Coach Walls. Nice play over there. No, 100%. I mean, first inning, King gets on and comes around to score right on the double by Mitchell. Mitchell, overruns second base, ends the inning instead of being on second. And then after that, it's just been a single here and there for the most part for the Wildcats. I mean, 3 hits from the second inning on,
right,
essentially. And like we mentioned, though, in the 4th and in the 5th, the Wildcats had leadoff singles. Lunenburg in the 4th, Iveri in the 5th. And there's strike 3 on the outside corner as Ames picks up his 7th strikeout of the day. Hats off to Ames with an excellent outing. Helps Apple Valley get their 2nd win on the season. Apple Valley moves to 2-5 on the season in the South Suburban. Eagan Wildcats now drop 3 in a row this week and fall to 4-4. Weather permitting, will play tomorrow on the road. So wonderful, beautiful day here at Eagan Ballpark at the Wildcat Park. Great day for the kids. Plenty of activities behind us. And we want to thank once again Eagan TV again for today's broadcast. We'll be back in I think a week or 2 with some more baseball on Eagan TVs that you'll be able to follow along, and they will let you know. Monday I hear from Tim, so we're right back at it on Monday. And with that being said, for Skip Newton, I'm Casey Lux. Have a wonderful rest of the week and evening. Thank you.
So long, everybody.